Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahwashai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, pushing this 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahwashai. And salutations to your sincere Akimate that are pushing this gospel in righteousness and sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Alright, so we're going to go into it, this article that's right here, concerning, he being exposed once again for his wickedness. We've already covered this, it's already been done multiple times, but, just to bring it back into remembrance, and it's been brought up once again, this fact that is being displayed here. So let me first get the book of Psalm 64, verse 8. So this is the book of Psalm 64, verse 8, and it reads, "So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." And you can see why people more and more are growing increasingly frustrated at this society, man. Okay, you can see why people are You can see why people are trusting the government less. Why people, are getting increasingly distrustful of the government of these leaders and these politicians and the like. This whole earth wants out, as scripture says, the whole of creation groaneth and suffereth together. Okay, Edom has been exposed. All their lies and cover-ups are falling apart, like a glass house. That's why you are seeing so much sedition, protests, okay, riots every day. This city, that city, they just keep on going, they just keep on coming because of things like this, and because of things like, and let me go back to that, Sakia. Because of things like this, okay. And what do you expect? The people, what do you expect people to do? Rather, how can anybody still trust this system when information like this is brought out and we keep on telling you of these things, man? Okay, that jab is no good, and it is not for your healing but for your destruction, or rather, even more so for your corruption with the information that has been brought out concerning it. Okay, so this is the article right here, and it reads: UN says new polio outbreak in Sudan was caused by an oral vaccine. Okay, and the article actually written in September 2nd, 2020. Okay, I know this is basically beating a dead horse, but it has to be constantly be brought out. Right, this jab is not for your good, first and foremost. But anyway, going on down, and it reads: London, the World Health Organization says a new polio outbreak in Sudan is linked to an ongoing vaccine sparked epidemic in Chad, a week after the UN Health Agency declared the African continent free of the wild polio infection. So, okay. So you can clearly see that, you know, anyway, so you can clearly see this is E at work. No, this is E all the way. But let me just save my comments for when I finish up this article. In a statement this week, the WHO said two children in Sudan, one from South Darfur State and the other from Gedaref State, close to the border with Ethiopia and Eritrea, were paralyzed in March and April. Both had been recently vaccinated against polio. WHO said the initial outbreak investigation show the cases are linked to an ongoing Maxi vaccine-derived outbreak in Chad that was first detected last year and is now spreading in Chad and Cameroon. So what you have is, what was brought into this city, what was brought into this nation. No, yeah, it's a city in order to save it from, a quote unquote pandemic. Which is funny because if you go into the history of polio, it was actually E that brought it into Africa. There was actually E that brought it into Africa, and also the Americas as well. And it was E that was first infected with the polio infection, and he brought it all to all these other nations. And now, these nations are constantly. Now it's funny that these, nations, especially here in Africa, that polio is pretty bad, man. Now we see that these people are suffering from it, and the people that actually brought it, E, somehow it doesn't affect them anymore. It just goes to show how this devil has spoiled the whole earth. He has caused all kinds of wickedness to flourish here, and that wickedness has in turn caused all kinds of it caused all kinds of plagues and pestilences, to flourish on the earth as well. Okay, so that's all I'm going to read about the article. It just plain and simple. We've already done this a million. This information has already been brought out a million times over. Okay, showing you that these vaccines and these, you know, jabs or whatever that he is planning to give you, it cannot cure anything. Okay, it's not going to help in any way, and this isn't just limited to Sudan or Africa or anything like that. Okay, the same thing is happening in India and all these other third world Asian nations. And there's nobody needs to tell you who is behind who is behind this, man, who is the one that's caused this outbreak to occur, because there's only one person. They cannot be, and it can only be said for this individual has been going around the earth talking about, let's vaccinate as much people as possible. Let's spread this, wondrous miracle drug throughout the four corners of the earth, to heal and to, to try and eradicate most pandemics. Okay, the same way as that the same way that declared the whole world shut down, showing you how much power that he has. Because here we all thought that he was just, a computer guy, but here he declared that the whole world be shut down until everybody gets jabbed, everybody gets stuck. But anyway, as I was saying before, who was the one going around third world countries jabbing children in the name of World Health and Disease Eradication? But you can clearly see, all that was, and he knew about this. He knew what these what these jabs could do, what these vaccines actually had in them. But no, let me just get that preset instead of butchering it with some dumb, with something by saying something dumb. Okay, Job 13 verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. And this man, no, not that guy, but the other one, Esau Edom, keeps on getting exposed left and right. His deceit, his trickery, put on the world stage for all to see. And pretty soon, pretty soon you have what you have is, okay, what you have is these nations, they aren't going to take this deceit lying down anymore. Okay, World War III is brewing. It's brewing just around the corner, and that is as a direct result of what this devil is doing. So, quick precepts in the book of Joel, chapter 3. Okay, from verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And what we are prophets of the nations, okay, prophets of everybody, including the Gentiles. And what we are telling you Gentiles right now, this is your destiny, okay? You're going to stand up and fight against this devil. The Most High is going to rouse your spirits up to send soldiers, against Esau. And if you go into this book of Joel 3, it tells you exactly where you are going to, where this World War III is going to be fought. The center stage for this battle, which is the valley of Jehoshaphat, meaning what, Jehoshaphat, the valley of the Most High's judgment, which would be in Syria, which would be in modern day Syria today. And it's funny because you already have multiple troops of different armies in Syria, because I believe that the Iranian army is in Syria as well, conjoined with the American army. And that world, and it's funny because the recent bombings that happened against Iran, took place around the Syrian border, which shows you that that this World War III is already taking center stage. It's already starting to starting to prop up and become even and become relevant news. But anyway, what the reason why this would happen, the reason why these nations are going to stand up against it like this, going to try and fight against this devil, is because the deceit is just too much. And these other nations, these Gentile nations, they're not stupid, okay? They are individuals too, they are living beings too, they are living souls inside, coupled and put inside flesh too. Okay, and just because they're not Israelites doesn't mean that they don't want prosperity for themselves. Okay, they don't want to see their own kingdom flourish. Okay, and because they have not the spirit, okay, because they are carnal, because they are of this world, and thus they must fight for this world. But that just shows you that, okay, that just shows you that, you having this knowledge, you realize that, oh, but we're not of this world, so we don't fight for it, and that's right. So we're not of this world, neither is our Lord. Neither is our Lord Yahweh Shai of this world. Because I know even the scriptures actually talks about that. Let me get that. The book of, I already have it queued up right here. The book of John 18, verse 36. John 18, verse 36, and it reads, Yahweh Shai answered, My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Okay. So that is plain right there. We do not have a part in this society. We do not have a part in this kingdom. That is just, it's not our lot to have anything in this kingdom. I'm not going to go into all these other camps that keep on trying to carve a piece of this kingdom for themselves. I'm just going to jump to another precept. The book of Second Thessalonians chapter 2, from the third verse, and it reads, Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And if you read on down, it talks about the God complex that this son of perdition would have. You know, Another of them just read it on down. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as God seated in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Okay, and that right there reminds me of another preset where you see this is what these devils have done. They've carried that, they've taken that their God complex to the next level. They've become basically disillusioned by it, and thinking that they have rulership over the whole earth. Okay, and this is what they have done with that rulership over the whole earth, because as scripture says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, and the second part being that he covereth the faces of the true judges thereof. So now that Esau has rulership over the earth, he's basically been drunk with power, and he thinks that he is the one that got himself that rulership, but he does not realize that first and foremost, okay, you devils got the leadership through deceit, through witchcraft, through lies, through rape, robbery, and murder, through wickedness, you know, basically turning, basically deceiving all the nations continuously. And you devils have been sustaining that power through that self same deceit. When now that deceit is being washed away, it's being cleansed, and the people are seeing you for as you truly are. As it just says in the book of Ecclesiastes 12, verse 12, that would wipe him that should wipe him as a looking glass, and you will see that his rust is not altogether washed away. And that's another probably the so like I was going into the book of I believe that's the book of Daniel chapter 2, or I believe that's the book of Daniel chapter 2. Going into the statues in the stone statue that the king Nebuchadnezzar saw, the head of gold, the torso of silver, the legs of brass, the legs of um brass, I believe, and the feet of clay and iron, the legs of iron and the feet of clay and iron. Okay, good. Shows you just how weak this is kingdom actually is. But he has deceived the whole earth into believing that he is the strongest empire, when in all actuality that's not the case. Because okay, even that same preset will show you that the strongest empire would have been the one that was in the beginning, and the empire just kept on getting weaker and weaker until we got to here. The weakest empire which is in rulership right now, and that is the base, and that is simply because the basest of men are in rulership right now. Okay, so this is the book of Isaiah 14, verse 17, and it reads. So okay, let me start from verse 16. Isaiah 14, verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? And now this is the point right here in 17. That made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, and opened not the house of his prisoners. Just touching on it a little bit there, There was a time that where all these nations genuinely believed that Esau had good intentions for them. Whenever he stepped into their land, they believed that he was helping them, that he was trying to develop their nations, that he did not have any ulterior motive in mind, and they even started naming it stuff like, the white man's burden and all that. Okay, they call the white man's burden and all that. They accepted colonialism because they believed that it would make their nations better, because they thought that this E was actually, God's sense, because that's how badly these devils had deceived the whole earth, to make everybody believe that he was the most high, that he came in the name of the most high, he came in the name of, peace and all that, as it just says. The, as it just said, that it says, the beast had, he spoke as a lamb, but he had horns like a dragon, because that's how Esau comes, all peacefully and the like. But but we already know from his actions what this devil is truly about. But the more truth like this comes out, the more information like this comes out about this devil's exploits all over the earth, the more these nations realize this devil is truly not for their turn. And it shows how Esau actually sees you nations, and even scores, millions of his own people. You're just nothing more than guinea pigs to him. No, sorry, I mean, you're just cattle to him, okay? Sheep, alright, ovids, but to be used however he sees fit, feeding into his god complex, okay? Because now he believes that everything on the earth is directly under him, that he has dominion over everything. Like his delusions of grandeur have, and maybe I should just get the definition of that word, because I feel this video just jumped on me. And that is telling me that I should just quickly get the definition of that word. Delusions of grandeur. So this is the definition of the word delusions of grandeur. The false belief that one is powerful, if one is important or powerful, accompanying certain mental disorders, conceitedness or overconfidence. I noticed this, I've read the book of Daniel recently, and this is the same thing that happened during the rulership of Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonian captivity, because he believed that he was the one, that he was the one. Going into then Daniel chapter 4, where the heart of man was taken from him and the heart of beast was given to him. Because he did not give Yahweh Bashim Yahushua his adequate glory. The same with Belshazzar, his son during that time. Okay, which is why the Persians, their empire was so successful. Okay, because their kings, both Cyrus and Darius, they gave Yahweh Bashim Yahushua his adequate glory. Okay, so this is the book of Revelation 3 verse 17, and it reads, because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods, and have need of nothing, and knowest not thou that thou art wretched, and miserable, and poor, and blind, and naked. Okay, which is why you are losing your grip on this kingdom, and you even have no choice but to expose yourselves. Okay, because in all actuality, you are not all these things. You're not kings. You're not coming in the name of the Most High or His Son. You're not the saints of the earth. You're not even whites. Okay, you're just plain old devils, the basest of men. Okay, you're just giving. You have no true power of your own. Everything that was given to you was given to you by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and this is me speaking on Esau right now. And now this power is about to take that rulership away from you. It's about to take the staff and the scepter that you have used to basically turn this world into a wilderness and torture all the nations, especially the Israelites. It's about to be taken from you, and you are being exposed left and right, and your deceit and devilry, your witchcrafts, your works can't save you anymore. Okay, so I'm just going to end it there. I like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yawashai, Ba'asham Rachak Wadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit of you Akim and you Akwath were edified. Shalom.